people don't give a shit.
He's giving them the business.
All the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He got it.
Goes Davis.
Oh my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back.
He's down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
50 to the 40. Herbert Whitfield to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
What's up, everybody?
Me, your daddy, Roberto.
That's right. It is. It's me, your daddy, Roboito, and that's Davey Dave here for another week of college football extravaganza. It's week 8, man. This college football season is flying by, unfortunately.
Too fast, damn.
It's going so fast. I'm very, very sad about that. But, I mean, we've had some crazy games, and we're going to get right into it. Justin had some Wi-Fi technical difficulties. I don't know if he has to talk to Cox Cable or whoever, but he sent in his picks, so you'll be hearing from him later. And we have a very special guest that should be joining us if he works out his technical difficulties as well. We all know it's a big Ohio State week, and if you've watched this podcast before or you know me and Davis, you should know who's coming on, but we'll leave that for later. Anyway, man, last week, honestly, like I did okay. I think I went 3-2 on the locks on this podcast and very close to going 4-1. So I was happy about that. But overall, like betting week for me, parlays busted instantly. Like I'm talking instant on college football is on Saturdays, right? My parlays were busted on Thursday, and then I made new ones, and then they were busted on Friday, and it was just downhill from there. We had 2 Hail Marys this week, one of which I'm referring to did bust my first parlay. That West Virginia going to Houston also busted my locks. I thought West Virginia was going to win, and they were losing the entire game. Shouldn't have even been close to winning that game. Came back, got up with like 30 seconds left in the game, committed a penalty, and then Houston throws one play, gets to the 45, and throws a Hail Mary and wins the game. Absolutely insane, Davis. Did you see this game?
So I didn't watch the game live, but I saw the highlight because I believe it was either you or Justin who texted the group chat and just like sent the video of the play, and I knew immediately, okay, something crazy just happened. And West Virginia, right? Like they scored a touchdown with like 13 seconds to go. The writing's on the wall that it's game over. West Virginia's going to win. I think a lot of us had West Virginia winning this game. I believe I did. And then the miracle of all Hail Marys happens. And Houston pulls it off at home. Dana Holgerson beats his former team in that kind of fashion. I mean, at first you're going like, oh my God, that's so bad. Like it's too bad for Dana. He couldn't beat his own team, his old team. And then that happens. What the absolute hell just happened there? It was the wildest sequence.
Yeah. So right here, obviously,
because they touchdown. It was kind of a crazy touchdown on their own, like a defensive mishap that Houston committed.
Yeah. That is true. They left him wide open and he ran in and scored, but you're up with 12 seconds left and you're waving goodbye to the opposing crowd, which, by the way, you could get a ticket to this game for like $1.50, cheaper than a bottle of soda will cost you nowadays in this economy. And you would have witnessed one of the greatest games of the weekend. And maybe, I don't know how many Hail Marys Houston's thrown. I want to say they've thrown a couple because I want to say I remember. Houston's always one of those teams. I'm going to use my old man college football logic. That's what I like to call old man college football logic. Houston always does something at the end of the game, win that thing. That's what it is. Let's see. Yeah. So shout out CFB Kings. This was just a terrible move by a young quarterback, man. And like we had stuff like the crowd in South Carolina. I guess since I mentioned it, I'll get to it. Going into this, I'm so ready for this. Going into this week, man. Going into this week, South Carolina fans were like, it's Cocktober. You're not going to beat South Carolina in Cocktober. Cox this, Cox that, whatever. Sandstorm. Gators don't do well in sandstorms. Graham Mertz and the Gator offense came out there and threw for 423 yards and came back 10 points and won that game.
Just lit it up. And I got to give a shout out to my friend Alexa Daly. She went to the University of South Carolina. She's one of our local reporters here in town. I saw her today, and I had to give my condolences. She was in Columbia for that game. Had to give my condolences when I saw her earlier today at a work event. But moving past that, I was in the fourth quarter. I was sitting downtown with my wife, and I was like, we're going to lose again. We're going to lose again. We just can't win on the road. I'm getting frustrated sitting at the table with a drink in my hand. It's like, we just can't win on the road. And then right as I say that, it was like the floodgates just opened. Everything that could possibly go right for the Gators went right for the Gators. They converted every single fourth down that they were facing in that fourth quarter. They like Graham Mertz, especially when after they scored a touchdown and it was like 4th and 11 and he rolled out to his right and he throws like a 30-yard pass to Pearsall, and there's Pearsall right there before the touchdown. Gets that, and then there's the tipped pass that was meant for Pearsall. It was caught by Eugene Wilson and went for like an additional 20 yards. And then I think it was the very next play, the touchdown that led to the picture that you see now. That's going to be framed in numerous Gator households. It was one of those things where anything that could go the Gators' way just went their way.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost felt undeserved, because I feel like I'm used to having a lot of sports-related things not go my way. Maybe that's what I get for the Rays missing out early in the postseason. Maybe this is what we get for the Gators having those two losses earlier in the year. Maybe this is retribution for some of the stuff that us as Gator fans have been honestly getting. Every now and then you have to receive a break, and it felt like this game was like that break that we get. It was about to be a loss, and then everything came together, went the Gators' way. Everything went against South Carolina, and we won. And then we also have that probably picture of the year kind of photo pop up. Just what a game. And I was for a solid 2 days.
Yeah, Ricky's had a couple worthy pictures this year. And here I want to thank the South Carolina fans first and foremost, because take a look at this. This is what they were doing when they were up 10 points.
2 points.
2nd and 15. Mertz pumps over the middle. Pearsall.
They were doing the Gator chomp in the stands. That's what you don't do. That's what you don't do if you want a team to come back. If you've ever watched college football or seen anything to do with college football, you don't do the other team's chop. You don't do the Seminole chop. You don't do the Gator chop. You don't do the throat slashing, because it's going to bite you in the ass. It's going to come back and haunt you.
You only really do that if it's like a 42-14 game with like a minute to go in the fourth quarter. That's the only time you do it, because you know that no matter what, you're not going to lose that game. You're down by 10 points fairly early in the fourth quarter, and that's when you're wanting to do that. Like, that's horrible timing. Anything can happen with that much time left in the game. And now here they are. And I was talking to my friend who went to South Carolina and now lives in Pensacola. She even said, she's like, you know what? It is what it is. I didn't even go into the game. I was just in Columbia and was hanging out with my friends from school. Like, but it's still stung. It's like, but at least I wasn't inside the stadium when it happened.
Yep. And oh wait, I gotta hide that. I was looking for the shot game. And okay, so just to wrap it up on Florida here. I mean, we saw a different Florida team. We saw a team that went from running the ball to a team that passed. I think Mertz threw it like 42 times, I want to say.
That was probably the most completions and yards he's had in his career. He's had a long college career.
Yeah, and he puts them on the mark there in the end in clutch positions, and obviously had some great catches by Jackson and Pearsall and Eugene Wilson obviously on that tip pass. But yeah, this is a different Florida Gator offense we haven't seen. This was primarily a passing offense here, and there was some stat that we were throwing around early in the season where if quarterbacks under Billy Napier threw it more than 30 times, or if Graham Mertz threw it more than 30 times, he was like 0 for or like 1 for whatever. So big turnaround there, big win for the Gators, and now they're going into the bye week with some momentum, facing a Georgia who's absent Brock Bowers and who kind of let Vandy run a little wild on them there this last week.
Yeah, that was a close game, especially in the
At the end. At the end, they kind of ran away, and then Vandy kind of scored some garbage time. That's
some garbage. But the biggest loss, like you mentioned, is Brock Bowers. That's a huge loss. He's a main target. Probably top tight end in the nation, future first round pick, and probably still a first round pick despite the injury. Just need to recover and hope and obviously hoping for a recovery for him. And he is confirmed out for the rest of the year, right? I thought I saw something that he could be out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's either the rest of the year. It's probably going to be the rest of the year, but then also you got to think, like, if they're in the playoff, is he really going to sit out? But let's bring in our special guest here. He's been waiting on us. He's got it figured out. My boy, he's an Ohio State fan, so he's got a stressful week ahead of him. Lazy, how you doing, buddy?
Lazy.
Oh man, the siren's coming on as soon as you get on.
I'm outside. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, aren't you?
You better run. He's like, how you been, buddy? How's you're Ohio State? So I wanted to ask you, since you're going to UCLA law school, so what are all these people saying? Like, you can't be an Ohio State fan anymore. You got to be UCLA. They're going to be in the same conference next year.
No.
What are you going to do though whenever they play each other?
I'm gonna wear my Ohio State gear. That's what I'm gonna wear.
Simple as that. All right, that's all I wanted to know. Oh man. All right, so let's get into this. Colorado blew it last week, man. They were up 29 points at halftime, and like I was telling Davis before the podcast, I fell asleep, and every time I woke up, Stanford was scoring, just like Brandon Walker on unnecessary roughness. He did. So we're doing the same exact thing. So the quality of the podcast is the same, really, as far as our research and analyzing.
I can hear it.
I mean, look, what do you got to do? I mean, you got Shedeur Sanders selling NIL stuff at halftime. Is that being focused on the game? Is that not being focused on the game? Dion afterwards was like, you got to be in love with this game. He was like, y'all suck. That wasn't me. Y'all suck. What do you think, Lazy? What did
Well, to me, so far, it seems like the players are more into the charades than the actual game at the moment. Even with Shadir doing this, I mean, I'm cool with it, but it seems like they're playing a game within the game. And we already know. I mean, we already seen. I mean, what is it, week 7? And it only takes 3 weeks to know that their defense sucks. And they can't hold the league. And the biggest thing that I'm saying out here, now that I'm in Pac-12 country, well, the ending of Pac-12 country, the biggest thing that everybody around me is saying that they're worried. In the beginning this summer, they was hype about going into the Big Ten, but now they're seeming like they're worried. It seems like none of these big Pac-12 teams can hold a lead at the moment, and that Colorado game was a perfect example. I was just like you. I didn't even turn on the game because I saw the score at halftime, but I should have known it's week 6. These Pac-12 teams have shown they cannot hold a lead, and unfortunately with these Colorado kids, it does seem like they're more interested in the outside chatter than the actual game in itself at the moment. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. And absolutely crazy catch by Alik Manor. I'm gonna get used to saying his name over Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter gets back after that liver laceration and plays both sides the whole game. And people are saying no, he was good to go. He's in shape. He's not tired or anything like that. But he got mossed. And one of the craziest catches of the season so far, just on his helmet, on his neck.
By the way, do you think, speaking of that play, do you think now he should consider going full-time wide receiver?
No, I mean, I think he's fine at cornerback.
It was just a hell of a catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people, like, in pro football, it's not a thing as much, but I think people don't really take into account momentum. Like momentum in college football is huge, man. Is the psyche and stuff. And you got to think in Colorado, like they're still throwing the ball after this halftime. They weren't worried about putting the game away, weren't worried about running clock. And so this is something that can happen whenever you're trying to toss the ball around the yard. I don't know, as simple as that. I think Colorado has a way to go. I mean, obviously they were only scheduled to win 2 games this year, Vegas over under. So they're ahead of schedule. They only won 1 game last year. Dion's already done better than last year. I don't
And
know.
there's still next season also. There's still a recruitment left to be done. Like I think
it's a huge loss.
So far, they're overachieving.
no, they're overachieving. I think they're overachieving for what they're doing right now. I think that there's still a lot of loose ends, right? And Dion, he's a perfectionist, and he is the NIL guru right now. He knows how to also connect with these players. So do you think he knows how to connect with young players? Like, I don't think you could really see Dion in the NFL. I think you see him working with that young player who needs that coach that to be in their ear, tell them exactly what they need to hear. I think Colorado's future is still extremely bright, despite the tough loss, and maybe he'll be able to recruit some defense. Because damn, what the hell happened there in the second half? But the future is still bright for Colorado. I think there's still some wins left ahead of them. 6, 7, maybe 8 wins. But that was a game that I had locked in 29-0, knowing going to bed, we're good. We got this covered. And waking up and seeing a text from Justin saying that he's like, oh man, like there goes Colorado. I'm like, wait, what?
Busted your parlays. Busted my parlays.
I'm going to Vegas in a couple weeks, man. I need some good vibes. Because I'm really putting down some real parlays. I need some good vibes when I'm in Vegas.
I mean, Colorado overs have been good. Colorado overs have been hitting. So,
They have.
I would stay off of the covering though. As far as Colorado goes, I'm done with it. We were on them early on, and that did good. But let's move on a little bit. We got to get into last week's action a little, so we can get into week 8, what we all came here for. Georgia, like we said earlier, lets Vandy kind of score 20 on them.
How that happened?
And one score was late. It was like 30-14, I think. And then Vandy scored, making it 30-20. And then I'm sitting here going, could they do it? No, I'm not going to get my hopes up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
No, I think Georgia just played Vandy soft. I mean, it's a different Georgia team when they're against Florida here in a couple weeks, and they're going to be in Jacksonville, world's largest tailgate party or cocktail party. Also pretty huge tailgate party. You and I can attest. But I think when you're at Vanderbilt, they're a struggling team. They just got their ass kicked by Florida the week before. Any team doesn't take that team as serious. But Georgia's going to take Florida serious in a couple of weeks. Even though they have the better record than Florida, they're still coming off a win from South Carolina. Georgia's going to come. They're going to be a completely different team, even without Brock Bowers moving forward. I'm not worried about Vanderbilt.
I'm not worried about Georgia at all either. I'm on the same page as you, Davis. I think you'd be a fool not to, because you doubted them 1 second against Kentucky, and they absolutely obliterated Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm not going to overlook Georgia for 1 second. I don't think the Gators are either, but they're just another team, man. Georgia's a team of finely tuned athletic machines. That's what they are.
Exactly. I can't say nothing more than that. I mean, they're going to miss Brock a lot, especially on that offense, and they're going to need him come playoff times because, as you guys see, playoffs is more offense getting into that championship game than anything. And then if he's really out for the season, they got a lot of work ahead of them, and sooner or later they may have to see that Alabama team in that SEC championship if Alabama can get their offense right. But you can't let Vanderbilt score 20 points though. That's too high.
That is way too high. Yeah, and Georgia, once they get past Florida, I think they got Missouri, and Missouri's no slouch either right now. They're going into their game, I think. Maybe they might have nope, they're going. No, that's last week. They have 1 loss on the season though. So Missouri's not looking bad either. All right, moving forward, Michigan hosted Indiana, blew the brakes off of Indiana, covered the spread, covered the over, 52-7. Michigan's looking good. Scott Lazy, are you nervous here?
No, I'm not nervous at all. I'm not.
Not so fast, my friend.
I mean, if I'm not nervous right now, I'm more worried about Penn State at the moment. I'm not thinking about the guys up north. So
You're taking it
I'm
week
not.
to week. He's like, we're taking it week to week.
Yeah, we take it week to week because we still got to play them. I don't know who we play after Penn State, but I mean, they look like they're doing good. I haven't seen them play not once. I don't really watch the competition till the week of. So, I mean, I've seen them score. I mean, honestly, from what I'm probably being biased, who have they beat yet, though?
That's what everyone's saying about Michigan. They haven't really played anybody. But here's the thing. Good teams are supposed to beat bad teams like this.
Yeah.
And they're doing that. And they'll still be good when they face someone.
There's been, I think it was Michigan. No, it was Minnesota's coach that I think put it well. And I think other coaches that Michigan, like Michigan looks like a complete team in every direction. Michigan is scoring at will, and they're stopping offenses at will. And Minnesota's coach was saying like that's the most complete team I have seen in my years of coaching. So,
but that's coming from a Minnesota coach. Like, what does a Minnesota guy really?
Hey,
come on.
don't disrespect.
It's PK Fleck.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah, that's what Lazy said. That's funny.
Hey, respect though. Hey, but the thing is like. The results are speaking for themselves. Michigan, like they were averaging like 20 to 30 points a game in like the first 3 weeks of the season. Now they're averaging like 40, almost 50 points a game.
Yeah. I mean, I can't deny it. I mean, I want to see for what I want to see so far. I think for us against them, even I'm speaking ahead of time, it's the trenches. I know their offensive line is probably one of the best in the country, if not the best offensive line in the country. And they got a good running back room. It's really hard to sack that quarterback. What's his name? McCarthy. He's really nice.
Okay.
The defense. I mean, I just got to see who they played. I mean, I feel like for us as Ohio State, like once we get past Penn State, I feel like we will be fine getting into that game because we went on the road and we faced adversity. And Ryan Day, hopefully he can garnish up a better offensive game plan like he did against Georgia, against Michigan. And we go to Ann Arbor this year as well, too. So, but then again, I'm not looking past Penn State yet because Penn State, I know as of right now, next year, Penn State's going to be a problem next year because all their guys are young. They have a lot of freshmen and sophomores on that team. And they're just getting started, and I feel like right now we just got to get past that Penn State. Once we get past Penn State and they come to us, thank God, I think we'll be fine. It's just our offense right now, coming from me, I say our weakest link right now is that offensive line. Our offensive line, our rush block sucks. Our running back room make our offensive line look really good right now. But as of,
Penn State has defense, right? They got a big defense.
Fine. Our defense is fine.
Penn State has a defense.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a defensive game, but they won't be able to put. I feel like we'll be able to put up points. They will not.
All right. We're gonna get to that. But speaking of Ryan Day, they did take care of Purdue 41-7 last week. Kyle McCord throws for 276 yards. And Purdue's a team that sometimes just comes out of nowhere and beats you guys. So
yeah,
I bet you're glad to get that one out.
Yeah, I mean, and it was crazy for that game. I assumed coming to that game we were going to have to run that ball because it was raining before that game and during that game, the entire game. And our offensive line showed up for this game, and we didn't have our running back 1 or 2, and we had a red shirt come in, and I think he ran for over 100 yards as well. So right now, I think as of right now, it looks like Ryan Day is starting to get an adjustment of an idea really of his weapons and how to use them. We didn't have Mbuka as well, our slot receiver. So as of right now, I think going into this Penn State games, it looks like the machine is starting to crank a little bit and perfect. And it has our quarterback looking really confident right now, and I like that he went into that hostile environment against Notre Dame. One, now he's got the home game against Penn State that can definitely be another way in going into this Michigan game. But we played a really good game, and our offensive line showed up, which I was scared about, and they still have some improvements to make. But I feel like going into this week, that Purdue game was really good because, like you said, Purdue can come out of nowhere and just upset us. One year, one running back went for like 4 or 5 touchdowns by himself.
Yeah, that was Rondale Moore. He plays for the Cardinals now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Rondale Moore. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that was Rondale
Well, long story short, we took care of business at Purdue in a rainy game. He threw the ball. We ran the ball perfectly, and hopefully we can get this rolling into week numbers. What is this? Week 7 now?
Yeah, week 8, and they're finding Marvin Harrison Jr., which is the key. Like, you're talking about Kyle McCord being confident, and you got to be confident when you're throwing to maybe the best wide receiver in the country in Marvin Harrison Jr. He's definitely gone next year, but they're finding him the ball. I saw early in the season, it's like they're not throwing the ball to him. Why aren't they throwing the ball to him? And now he had 105 yards this game, so I think they're getting the right idea there on offense at Ohio State.
Yeah, but we got to remember, and Ryan Day needs to remember. Yes, 18 is nice. We can't force 18 the ball. We force 18 the ball, bad things happen, and we got to get that running. We got to get that running game going because, like these Pac-12 guys will find out, Big Ten is about those trenches. Who you got in our offensive line and defensive line. At the end of the day, we need to run the ball because in order to get that offense going, that running game needs to be good so we can get those play actions and get 18 that ball.
Yep, absolutely. Very, very good analysis there. Now, moving on to the number 4 team in the nation, according to AP and ESPN rankings, the Florida State Seminoles take care of Syracuse. Keon Coleman with an absolutely monstrous catch here early in the game.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all over, everywhere. Goddamn. Goddamn. That man is a problem. That man is a problem. I don't care what you say.
He played it
Dude's
off.
loving this update. Man, your guys came a long way.
Thank you. I try and dude, I'm trying.
That's all.
I see little things that I want to change around, but we're getting there, man. I didn't go to school for this. I went to law school, so we'll see what happens. Oh man. But yeah, Florida State looking good. Jordan Travis continuing to put up Heisman-like numbers. Even though Graham Mertz has better numbers, but maybe better, similar, whatever you want to say. I don't know.
As a team, Florida State is looking much better because I mean there was 2 weeks in a row where it was a little hit or miss. Is Florida State really that team? They slipped out of the top 4. Now they're back in, and so I mean they needed a statement win against Syracuse, and Syracuse came into this game with only 1 loss. So they really needed a good statement win against a respectable team, and that respectable team. Syracuse, you gotta get it tip your hat. They've had a pretty good year, and they just kicked their ass. So
they need that going into Duke next week as well.
Yeah. Well, and I have some thoughts about that game. I believe Duke is getting Riley Skinner back, so that's a different offense if he's back. So it could be a different game.
Riley Leonard. All right. And the game, our game of the week last week, obviously. Crazy game. I would have been okay with this being the national championship. Oregon at Washington. Washington wins 36-33. Bo Nix threw for 337 yards, but Michael Penix Jr. put the team on his back late in the game, scored that touchdown. And Oregon fans are talking to Dan Lanning saying, hey, maybe you might be too aggressive. Some Oregon fans are like, I like it. They went for went for it on 4th down, didn't make it, left the Huskies with a short field, and they scored and took the lead. To me, some fans like that aggression. I don't know. I say you try and pin them deep there late. But you know what? They were in position to tie the game, and the kicker missed the field goal as well. So
for me, like I watched that game entirely. You start off aggressive. Remember the first
they went for 2 and they got it.
Yes, keep that aggression going. And I think he's going to learn from that mistake. And I think that's what Ryan Day learned from Michigan as well, going into that Georgia game last year. A lot of these head coaches need to keep that foot on the pedal. And if he kept that same mindset going into the second half, I feel like he would. I mean, I would have, if me as a coach, I would have been fine with my kicker missing that field goal, at least attempt it. Because how many yards it would have been if he kicked that field goal going into the second half? Do we know?
I don't know how long the field goal was. Was that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What you think? How long that field goal would have been going into the second half if he attempted it? It can be over 45.
Yeah, no, it was there. It was there. I mean, they could have done that, and that's what a lot of people are saying is like, hey, you kick that field goal, then you make it, and then you kick the field goal at the end. That's the game. You won it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, most likely we might see these teams play each other again in the Pac-12 championship.
You think so?
Yeah, with the way it's set up, it is possible. I think
I want to see how Utah went out this week against SC. I'm a California now. I say SC now. So I want to see how Utah played because Utah still. I mean, did they get their quarterback back yet?
I mean, I don't know. They might keep him out the rest of the season. They might keep him out until there's 4 games left because I think if you only play 4 games, then you can preserve your red shirt.
Got it.
We might end up seeing Cam Rising next year, and he's already old as shit. So I have no idea what they're gonna do. But
it's not like he's not like in like the top 10 of Mel Kiper's quarterback draft board. So best interest to probably try and get that red shirt.
Yeah, probably stay another one. All right, we got to run through this. Oh man, there's so many games here to go over, but we're gonna have to cut some of them short. USC. Speaking of USC and SC, they went to Notre Dame and ran against a brick wall, man. But it wasn't what we expected. I expected SC to be able to throw the ball, and then their defense not be able to keep up with Notre Dame, and it would be a shootout. SC's offense couldn't get it going, man. Caleb Williams throws 3 interceptions, and there's a fumble there, so 4 turnovers for USC. And Notre Dame gets the win and gets back on the track, handing USC their first loss.
It was a loss that USC was long overdue for, and Notre Dame defensively stepped up. They basically did what Louisville did to them the week before in a defensive manner. USC was due for a loss, and Notre Dame stepped up and gave it to them.
Yeah, and expect USC to be in shootouts for the rest of the year, guys.
Oh yeah, I fully I agree with you there.
Well, the Pac-12 is going to be in shootouts for the rest of the year, guys.
And I think I brought this up because I knew you were coming on here. So this I just saw this. This was funny. This was at the SC game, or no, this was at the Washington game. Big
like Washington game.
But yeah. But they were talking about the SC game. They were talking about it, and then this says Urban Meyer never not dirtballing, and you can see him right there on the side. Macking on somebody.
Oh yeah, Herb Mac. That's what he gonna do,
dude. Herb,
coach.
They want you in Michigan State. They want you so bad in Michigan State, dude.
Oh yeah, so they can have another deja vu like Mel Tucker.
Hey, there's some developments in that Mel Tucker story that we're not covering because we're all about ball here. But and that man was being framed. There's some new developments there and text messages that came out in Discovery, and it's not looking good. She wanted the money.
Also, like if Mel Tucker went through that at Michigan State, what the hell do you think Urban Meyer's going to go through over there?
Yeah,
exactly. All right. Miami dropped it to North Carolina. North Carolina sneaky, undefeated still, 41-31, and this wasn't really close. Miami looked like they might have had a chance early on. North Carolina pretty much dominated this game and still undefeated. One of 2 teams in the ACC undefeated, obviously Florida State the other one. But I love this game. I did bet on Miami to pull the upset. It is what it is. Because they're the underdog, so you might as well throw something on it. If your buddy next to you is doing it, he's like, "Come on, do it." Yeah. So Pittsburgh, speaking of the ACC, beats Louisville. Previously undefeated Louisville. Now they're not. They handed Notre Dame their loss. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that was going to happen, right? They come off this big win against Notre Dame. They're like, we're hot shit. They're going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needs a statement win to put on their season and say, hey, we're not that bad of a team. We beat an undefeated team. And they go and beat Louisville. Not close, 38-21, exposing Louisville. You guys have anything to say about that one?
All I know is those Noles better keep their heads on the swivel this week against Pittsburgh.
They're not playing.
They play Duke. It's okay. They do go to Pittsburgh though.
Pittsburgh is a place. I don't know why, but these ACC teams that go to Pittsburgh, they always struggle for some reason.
Undefeated Miami in 2017. I remember that because I wanted Miami to actually win. I don't know why. I was like, they're undefeated for the first time since like 2002. I wanted them to go undefeated. They lost in Pittsburgh. Yep. Oregon State gets the job done against UCLA. Oregon State looking good. Clemson. I got to bring this up. This was absolutely hilarious on my timeline. Shout out to whoever did this. Let's see. We'll give him a good shout out here. Yeah. All right. I gotta share this instantly. This is Clemson fans knowing what they. Indiana fans. Oh no. Well, this is also true for Clemson fans getting rid of DJ Uiagalelei.
That was stupid.
I mean, that is dumb. And this is for Indiana letting Michael Penix Jr. go. Obviously, just as dumb. Maybe dumber.
And you know what's crazy? Now that I think about it, I see him play last year at Indiana. I don't think he's all that still. But we'll talk about that later.
I think he's good. Dude.
I think he's damn good.
I don't think so.
He's probably one of the Heisman front runners right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. All right, moving forward. Utah beats Cal. We said maybe they might be on upset alert. Utah still trucking along without Cam Rising. So maybe that's why they're not playing them. Maybe they have confidence in their team. Say, hey, let's get you really healthy. Let's not ruin anything going forward. They beat a decent Cal team. Duke gets the win against NC State. I picked NC State last week because Riley Leonard was absent. He's hurt. So Duke handled their business, not having him. And I don't know. Maybe he gets healthy against FSU. We'll see. Texas. Yeah, we'll see. Texas A&M drops another one at Tennessee. Texas A&M fans are not happy with Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher is on a hot seat.
Oh, God.
How do you, like, year in, year out, have one of the top recruiting classes in the nation, and yet you finish so mediocre? What is he missing? He's missing, like, that key piece. What is that? A top-ranked quarterback. He's missing that guy. He's not recruiting that guy. He's recruiting a lot of other pieces, but he's not recruiting like that big-name quarterback, like a Caleb Williams, for example. He's not recruiting that quarterback, and they're out there, but he's not getting him.
Or going to transfer portal.
Yeah, something. I will say, I got to bring this up because this is like the third time this guy's had a crazy call, and I don't speak Spanish, but we need more Spanish announcers in college football. Listen to this call, how electric it is. Oh, wait, hang on.
Aquí viene la patada, la pelota en el aire y Dick Williams en la yarda 39, está ganándola por la parte media del campo, corriendo, la rompe, en la 10, en la 5, dale 6, que aquí hay un touchdown.
How they get a Spanish announcer in Tennessee before Florida gets one?
That's crazy.
How they do? They're going to get all the Hispanic fans, and I'm going to be very upset about this. I'm going to be very upset. Florida and Texas should get on their Spanish announcing right now.
Yeah, all those Puerto Ricans in Orlando could definitely drive up real quick.
Real fucking quick. And you know, I don't know. I just enjoy that. That's something I liked. Brought to you guys. All right. Lightning quick. Washington State gets absolutely blammied by Arizona 44-6. We told you watch out for Arizona. If you're listening to this podcast, we said, hey, Arizona's not bad. They're a good football team. And what do? We were hot on Washington State, and then Washington State dropped one against Oregon State, and then they ran into the brick wall. And this was at Washington State. So Arizona, a team that can travel and win. Or Arizona, sorry.
And he's been a really good quarterback since he took over. I believe he came in who used to be like a Washington State.
Yeah, Noah Fafita throws for 342 yards in this game. 342 yards. Absolutely crazy. All right. Auburn beats LSU like we said.
Who cares?
What'd you say, Davis?
Yeah, LSU beat Auburn.
That's what I meant.
Oh.
Yeah, LSU. We saw that coming. Kentucky. Kentucky, no. They lost. They lost to Missouri. They had the lead. Missouri with the fake punt early in the game. Punter threw a touchdown pass. I'm all in for it. Missouri gets the win at Kroger Field, and they go to 5-1, or maybe 6-1 at this point.
Florida's got Missouri later.
Yeah, Florida's got Missouri later. Georgia's got Missouri later. It's all
Okay. Yeah, Missouri can make some noise.
They could.
They're making noise. They should have beat LSU.
Yeah, they should have.
Florida. Now, Kentucky's got 2 losses in the SEC. Florida and Missouri kind of can write their own destiny. They got Georgia in the way, so same for Georgia. But 2 teams, you want to talk about having a pathway to the East that you didn't think had a chance in the East?
That's
Florida and Missouri both. TCU beats BYU bad, 44-11. They got soaked. They were too busy not doing that. The under hit in Iowa and Wisconsin, 15-6 Iowa, and they're looking like they're going to win the West, and we're going to get whoever, Michigan or Ohio State against Iowa. So that's probably actually no. Is it going to be no? They still got the division, so it's going to be Iowa.
Yeah, it's going to be Iowa
regardless, most likely. And whoever comes out of the East, is it the East?
Yes, the East.
So like the legends and leaders for a while.
Yeah. Legends and leaders for a while. That was like for 2 years.
Okay.
But I think hopefully next year when the Pac-12, when those teams from the Pac-12 comes, hopefully they'll probably do the top 2 teams in the conference instead of doing the East and West thing, because it doesn't make sense at that point anymore.
All right, that's going to do it for week 7. We're going to move on to week 8. That's right. And I mean, there's some good matchups here, but like last week was jam-packed full of matchups. But we say that about every week. If you think there's a low week in college football, there's always going to be a close game. Hell, Middle Tennessee at Liberty last night, Tuesday night, was popping off. Liberty wins 42-35, but a very close game back and forth. I watched that for a little bit.
Liberty got a good program. If you're a kid out there and you can't get into these big schools, think about Liberty.
I didn't know they were a Christian school. I was watching the game, and then like a commercial popped up. I was like, "Do you want to play for Jesus?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I do. I do want to play for Jesus.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
So go to Liberty if you like Jesus." All right, moving on. Or if you are okay with Jesus,
Go to Notre Dame if you like the Pope.
Hell, y'all go to BYU and you're not Mormon, so you just fake being Mormon for 4 years. Whatever. All right. First game, we got to skip that. Game of the week, obviously, we know what's going on. UCF. This is UCF's first time going to Oklahoma, and it's at 11 a.m. in Norman, Oklahoma. I don't have a whole lot of confidence here. And let me tell you, Davis, I wasn't able to get my locks in. So I'm going to have to lock it up as we go along. I think I'm going to lock up Oklahoma minus 19, but I don't know. I'm going to save. I don't know. That's a lot of points.
I'm excited.
That's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points, which is why I'm not locking in this game. I think Oklahoma is going to win, but I'm excited to see how this team plays coming off a bye week after their big win against Texas. I want to see what Dylan Gabriel can do, because also after that Texas win, I've put him in the Heisman discussion.
They've been silent about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Davis.
Yeah, they've been silent about Dylan Gabriel. This guy's been in college football also for a long time, playing against his former team, by the way, at home. A big win against Texas 2 weeks prior. I think Dylan Gabriel has an opportunity to really put himself at the forefront of the Heisman discussion, and it starts with this game against his former team.
Yeah, I mean, good spot there. I didn't forget that, but I didn't bring it up. He definitely did play for UCF, so he might rub it in real good, dude. I don't know that.
Been after McKenzie,
Yeah, Milton. Yeah, names just roll off your tongue whenever you just watch football for fucking years and years and years. But I don't know. That over under is looking kind of good. 66. I might look at that. Yeah, I don't know. I might come back
I
to
would
this.
take that under.
The under might be good too. I don't know. I don't think UCF's defense is that good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Air Force at Navy. It's an America game. Our military forces are fighting each other in Annapolis, Maryland. Air Force's favorite minus 10.5. And I'm big on Air Force. I was big on him before the Wyoming game, and I stayed off of the Wyoming game because I was kind of nervous about Wyoming, but I will lock in Air Force to beat Navy and cover that minus 10.5.
Navy offense. I don't like the scheming for Navy. They seem like they're still
Triple option?
Since we've been kids.
What's wrong with the triple option, Lazy?
It's too easy to scheme against.
Yeah, all you got to do is be disciplined. But are you disciplined?
Can be tough to stop at the same time. And you know what? The weirdest thing is that their one tough win that they had was against Sam Houston, and Sam Houston's playing right now.
I was just about to say that. Ain't they playing right now?
They're playing right now. No, I think that this Air Force team is scoring a lot of points at the moment. Again, the one weird game they had was in week 2. That game is behind them. They have played lights out football since then. I have them covering the spread against a 3-3 Navy team, so much so that I'm locking it in. Boom.
Oh, locked it in for you. I mean, I feel like it could be the lock of the week. It could be the lock of the week. I don't know. It's definitely my first lock, and I might put it at the top. I might put it number 1 on my board. We'll see. I'm gonna skip a few games because obviously we ran long on last week. Last week we had a lot to cover. But if you see any games you want to talk about that I skip, Lazy, by all means, we can talk about it. Washington State going to Oregon.
That's the game I was just looking at.
Yeah, Washington State obviously coming off that terrible loss against Arizona, the stomping, and Oregon coming off arguably an even worse loss, heartbreaking wise, at Washington. Oregon's favorite minus 20, and I thought about taking it. It's a lot of points, but I'm gonna lock in the over. Give me the over at 62.
Yeah, I think that Oregon's due for a big win here. Washington State struggling the last two games. I think were 2 losses for them.
But you don't think because of those last 2 games they can't come out and make some noise against Oregon?
Against Oregon at home, but I'm not locking the game. I think for both teams there's a statement that needs to be made, but it's more going to come from Oregon. But Oregon's going to win. They're probably going to cover, but I'm not locking it in.
Got it.
I'm locking in the over. I was just briefly looking over every single game because this week I had to be kind of quick with it, and I was like, "There's not many games out there that are like for sure locks." So I'm gonna get them where I can right there. All right, moving on to Tennessee, Alabama. Do you remember last year when Alabama was undefeated and Tennessee was undefeated, and this was the game of the century for the Volunteers? I think this game might also be just as it's going to be a close game. Alabama was playing Arkansas close last week, and I don't know. I'm not too impressed with Arkansas. I'm not going to say that Alabama's going to win it outright. I'm not going to lock this game up, but Alabama better be careful. Tennessee could get them. Tennessee has 1 loss, Mont Florida Gators, and they've been playing better ball since then. So I don't know, man. Alabama minus 9.5.
Alabama.
Lock me in at Tennessee 9.5.
You want to lock, Lazy?
Yeah.
You got to lock. There you go. Tennessee 9 plus 9.5 or plus 9. There you go. Davis, what you got?
Oh, I got Alabama. I don't think I put this down as a lock, but it's at home, and it just seems like it's one of those games where it's gonna be a tough one, but it's at home. I think Alabama's just gonna find a way to keep the lead majority of the game and just hold on. I think it's just going to be one of those things where defense is going to become the biggest factor in this game. Alabama's defense is going to beat Tennessee's offense. I think that's what it comes down to.
Okay.
Davis, you did lock Tennessee in at plus 10 earlier.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
Mine?
You locked Tennessee. You when you sent me the locks, you did say Tennessee.
Okay, then that makes sense because I was looking at it. And again, if everyone listening, I normally have my locks set aside. I'm at a very, as you can tell, my phone is set up the way it is. I'm at a very weird setup right now, so I don't necessarily remember all my locks. But then that makes sense. That I think that this is going to come down to a defensive matchup where Tennessee could keep it close. Alabama's going to, I think, hold the lead majority of the game. Don't get me wrong. I think that ultimately it is going to come down to Emma or a defense beating the offense, but it's going to be just close enough. And I think that's what led to my reasoning to lock it in for Tennessee to keep it close enough. But Alabama's still going to win this game. It could be by 7, it could be by 10, but I'm going to stand by that lock. Keep it in there. Tennessee's locking in plus 10.
Fucked up.
That's okay, dude. That's we all mess up sometimes. All right. Moving on from Alabama to Tennessee. I mean, I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm still excited about it. Another game I'm excited for. South Carolina goes to Missouri, and South Carolina is coming off that heartbreaking loss, man. You know they want some sweet revenge. Missouri's favorite -7, and it's tough. It's gonna be tough.
It's not happening at Mizzou at all.
No.
If it does, I'd be happy though. I would. If
Nah,
it does,
I mean, honestly, I would take that Mizzou.
yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. South Carolina, they are in desperation mode. They want to win very badly, and when you go back and look at South Carolina's schedule at the beginning of the season, you didn't see that many wins on here, and you probably said Florida was a win, and now it's not, and you probably said Missouri was a win, and now it's looking like that's not.
No.
It's rough, but listen, I think Shane Beamer's a good coach. I think this is a decent and good South Carolina football team. I'm not going to count them out. They played Georgia close. I'm too scared to take Missouri at -7. I think Missouri will get the win, though.
I would take Missouri at -7. I think they'll beat them by 10 at least.
What say you, Davis?
I got Missouri. I got Missouri covering. I'm not locking this one in, but I think Missouri's going to – I think they can win this ball game. I think they're going to cover. I think that rebound win against Kentucky is – and that was a statement win, by the way. That was a 17-point win. That's at Kentucky. Huge rebound win after that tough loss against LSU. I think that this team still has momentum, and they're going to take it against South Carolina.
Boom. There it is. No lock, though. I didn't hear a lock, though.
No, well, you tell me. Again, I don't have my list in front of me like I normally do.
Oh, that's right. No, you did not. You did not.
I didn't pick Missouri. I'm pretty sure I remember the rest of my locks, but because I've already have 2, I have 3 left.
All right, I'll just subtly hint at it if anything. All right, moving on. And I'm only bringing this game up because they're top 25 ranked, and I have a lock that I'm going to spend. I'm going to spend a lock on the Iowa-Minnesota under 31.5. Every bone in my body told me to bet the under Wisconsin, Iowa last week, and I didn't do it. I didn't listen to my body. Now my mind and my body are telling me yes. So I'm going to my body is telling me under. So I'm going under 31. I think Iowa wins this game. You're the Big Ten guy, Lazy. What do you say here?
I agree with you. Minnesota, like I told Davis earlier, anything Minnesota does, I does not pay attention to those Golden Gophers at all. But Iowa, I do. I know firsthand it's hard to go into Iowa City and beating that team, especially after they do that wave to that hospital.
To the cancer kids? Yeah. How are you going to beat them? How are you going to beat them after they're waving to the cancer kids?
Come on, right?
That's like a sympathy thing. And then they go and paint their away team locker room pink.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you would think that would anger the away team, but it softens them up. So Iowa's traditions just know how to butter the team up and then just kick ass after that second half. After they wave to those cancer kids, I'm all for Iowa beating the Golden Gophers. I've never taken Minnesota serious.
God, I love that take so much you don't even know. All right, Wisconsin goes to Illinois. Do you have anything to say there? Illinois gets the win last week against Maryland out of nowhere, that kick.
Yeah, Yeah, and the Illinois is they've been sleeping lately, and Wisconsin has been a disappointment to me at least because usually Wisconsin they will always have a good offensive line, a good running back, and a semi decent quarterback that could get them into that Big Ten championships. But lately, I don't know what's been going on, but I would definitely take that. I would take that under 42 though.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. Big Ten unders might be the way to go this week. Honestly, you got Iowa and Minnesota, and then you got Wisconsin and Illinois. Under 42. I like it as well. I don't think I'm gonna lock it in just yet, but looks good. Looks real good, actually. I don't know, Davis. You got anything here?
Not really. It's not one of my games, and if we're good.
Actually, no, I'm joking. You didn't like it. I like having the power. All right. Oklahoma State. We'll go with this one too, because it's a revenge game for me. I'm not gonna lie. West Virginia cost me money last week, and I'm on the Cowboys bandwagon. I'm gonna lock in Oklahoma State plus 3.5 because fuck West Virginia. They cost me on a Thursday night. Hail Mary, you put the game away. Don't get stupid penalties. You weren't even supposed to win the game in the first place. The Houston was up, and you go and blow it, and you break everyone's parlay. So I'm locking in the Cowboys plus 3.5 at West Virginia. Be sad. And drink beer, and then go flirt with your cousins.
Giddy up.
Get it done.
I know that was personal. I know I'm the only one who had to take on that. We lost 2 viewers off of that as well. We had like 3 live viewers, and when I started going on my tirade, lost them instantly. That's fine. That's okay. Like and subscribe to the podcast if you're coming back on. Anyway, Texas going to Houston. Speaking of teams that cost me money, Texas coming off a bye week.
Wow, okay. The line's 23.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah. This was tempting from a Houston perspective, right? Houston off a huge win home. That fan base is going to be fired up. Texas has weirdly struggled against the teams that they think they should beat. But it was just enough to where I was like, maybe Texas will be fired up and go in and just kick ass in this game. I mean, Texas is going to win. But at like minus 20, you're thinking like, damn, that's frisky. You're tempting me.
That is
a lot. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. It's too much for me. Seeing Houston off that win last week, I think maybe they got something going on. But I like the over. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Texas has a defense, so I don't know. I'm staying away from this one, but it's just interesting. Texas coming back. You got to talk about them.
Yeah, that's 2 Yeah, that's
all right. North Carolina's got Virginia coming to town.
Who cares?
I don't. I think Virginia's garbage this year.
That point.
Yeah.
Mr. Auburn's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and this is interesting at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Ole Miss favorite to win this game minus 6.5, but I mean, honestly, I could see a world where Auburn upsets them. You got to pick upsets somewhere. This could be one of them this week. I think Auburn might do it. I would take Auburn plus 6.5.
I don't. I mean, yeah, it's at Auburn, but they're looking so flat, I think, on offense right now. I think they're looking flat. I think Ole Miss is looking pretty good.
Yeah, because I feel like Auburn's quarterback, I have no faith in him at all.
Yeah, man. After he stepped out short of the first day. It was like 4th down, and he stepped out like 1 yard short. He didn't go for it. That was rough last week. That was super rough.
Knowing Lane Kiffin, he gonna throw that ball all over them boys too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ole Miss wins it. I think it's just close. I mean, I think it's gonna be a close game for no reason.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll say Ole Miss gets the win, but they're gonna keep it. Auburn's gonna keep it close. All right. TCU, Kansas State, obviously revenge game for TCU. I don't really have any analysis for you this week on that game. Michigan, number 2 team in the land, goes to Michigan State. This is a rivalry game. This is battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. Yeah, no, Paul Bunyan trophy, not the axe. The axe is some Minnesota game.
And trophy.
Yeah, I mean, all right. We got. Oh, sorry, I didn't click on it, did I? I thought I clicked on it so I could see the over/under. I think Michigan's favorite. Yeah, 24 points here.
24 points and covering. I do. I think Michigan State's in a really spot. This is just a tough year for Michigan State with everything they have going on, and with Michigan rolling and just firing in all cylinders. This is going to be. I think this is going to be another ass kicking, despite it being at Michigan State. So I have them covering that -24. It's a big spread, and it's an away game. But you got to put your nuts out on the table and say this is going to happen, and this is my game. Michigan's going to cover.
Yeah, but I feel like Michigan State needs to have some kind of show some balls, man. It's your in-state rivalry coming in. I don't give a fuck what's going on with your coach and shit like that. Like, man, like show something. Like this is, and knowing me, being a Big Ten guy, I think that line's too high to be 24. I feel like those Spartans might have something to say, even though Michigan is rolling. Just that in-state rivalries, you can never really predict those, even when the team is 2-4, like a Michigan State at the moment.
Yep. Let's bring it back 5 years ago when Michigan went to Michigan State and Devin Bush just absolutely destroyed the logo here. This is one of those rivalries that is intense, man. There's been some crazy moments to that muffed punt for Michigan where Michigan State took it and won in the big house, to this moment where Devin Bush said, "You're going to walk through me. I'm going to walk all over this Spartan." And then they absolutely destroyed Michigan State in this game. I want to say that's what happened in this game. Do you remember? I think they won this year. I think Michigan was
won that year.
Yeah, really good this year. So, yeah, I mean, I think on a week where I'm having a hard time finding locks, I think I got to lock this one up, because I'm not seeing too many other. Actually, nope, not locking it up. I see another one, and I'll probably go with. Yeah, I see a couple, so I'm not gonna lock it up. But I thought about it.
Just drop your nuts. Really, that's all it is.
Really, that's all it is. All right, moving on. Florida State hosting Duke, and what could have been another college football extravaganza game of the week. Florida State's favorite -14.5. Duke, very good football team, absent Riley Leonard still. Do they get him back? Do they not? I don't know. I'm staying away from it because of that. I think Florida State gets a win, though.
I'm the same way. Florida State has a lot of momentum. They're definitely playing like a better team. And Duke came off a really good win. Back at home, though, you have to favor Florida State. But it wasn't for me, and I'm with you, like thinking Riley Leonard is going to be back, or possibly maybe not, wasn't enough for me to commit fully to Duke to cover the spread. Mainly because that offense is different when he's there. That the offense clicks a little bit better. They move the ball a little bit better. But Florida State, they have that momentum. It was just enough for me to say, you know what, I'm going to back away from this game and not commit, but Florida State's going to get the win.
Lazy?
Yeah, Florida State's getting that win. Offense is rolling right now. I don't think Duke's going to be able to score on Florida State like that. And what time is that game?
That's going to be at 6:30 p.m. So it's a night game.
Yeah, it's the night game. I don't think Duke is ready.
I don't think.
If it was North Carolina, if it was the Tar Heels, I would have said something different.
Yeah, Duke has not been in an atmosphere like Tallahassee at night. Tallahassee at night, as a Gator fan, I will say, very hostile environment. There's going to be drunk students everywhere. Osceola is going to be planting the spear, and the fire is going to be clear through the night, dude. They're going to be, dude. I don't know. I might put FSU, Doak Campbell at night up there. Top 10 hostile environments of college.
Oh, for sure. I remember what was. I've been there at night, especially at a Miami game, where it was like, man, this place is crazy.
Yeah. And I went there. I'm a little biased. Maybe I went there probably 20 years with my granddad for games. I've seen some crazy comebacks by FSU at night in the fourth quarter, some crazy games. So I might be a little biased, but
Duke's been giving teams a run for their money, especially against Notre Dame.
They have, and I think they're ready for the environment. I think Riley Leonard wants to play, and if he wants to play, maybe they'll get him out there. But is he 100%? That's gonna be the question. And I can't answer that, and only Saturday will tell. But yeah, I got FSU winning this, and if Riley Leonard plays, I mean, give me Duke to cover, but I can't lock it in, not knowing if he's playing or not. Moving on, LSU hosting Army. They kind of get, I guess, a little bit of a break before they play Alabama. This is at Tiger Stadium. LSU's favorite, -31, and this is gonna be a lock for me. I'm
Yeah, give me that lock too.
We're cellmates. We're locking the jail doors together. We're getting locked in there. LSU -31. I think they handle Army. They painted the end zones in camo for this weekend. Looks.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
It's purple and yellow camo.
Yeah, look pretty cool. Let's see. This game's also at night. So Army, you may have been to Baghdad. You may have been to Afghanistan. You might have went to Vietnam. But I don't know when the last time you went to Tiger Stadium at night was. You're not coming out with a victory. You're going to have to withdraw your troops. You like that? I felt like that. That came from the heart. I felt like that was good.
Man, that Utah SC game's gonna be good too.
Speaking of Utah SC, I think I think
I would take that under. I would take Utah over.
I think Utah is gonna win.
Whoa.
I think Utah is gonna win. I think SC drops 2 in a row.
Oh.
Because
tough one for me. This was a really tough one. Because you're right, man. Like Utah, they lost a little earlier against Oregon State, but they've been winning since. USC's been due for a loss. They finally got the loss, but now they're back at home. I was so back and forth on this that I think that USC might get the win. I think I would like to think they're a better team with Lincoln Riley as their coach. They're going to get the win, but damn, I just don't know if I can ever put any kind of lock on USC for the rest of the year.
I'm not putting a lock on it, but I think Utah gets the win here. Obviously I'll take Utah +7 in that case. I think USC for the first time this year faced a really good defense in Notre Dame and kind of got flustered. Utah's got a good defense as well. We'll see what happens, but
and probably SC they just need to think about what happened last year. Maybe they can take that bad taste out of their mouth out of that Pac-12 championship.
I agree.
Hey, I gotta jump in here really quick. So I was able to go back and look at my locks. I did lock in Florida State.
Ooh.
Yes, you did lock in Florida State, and you said I was actually about to tell you that I missed it. It's also the shot game of the week. So me and Davis are on Florida State, and Justin's going to be on Duke, as you'll see in his locks later. But that's going to be the shot game of the week. By the way, I owe you guys 2 shots because I didn't do them this time around. So we'll just rack up. I think I might start. I'm gonna chill out on the drinking during the week for a little bit, and I'll rack it up, and then maybe we'll do a Saturday show where I can do that. So we'll just rack them up. How about that? If that's okay. I don't know. Justin might have an issue with that. We'll see what happens. All right. So me and Lazy, I think we locked in on Utah. Did you lock in, or was that the last?
I locked in on Florida State just like you guys too.
Okay. So no locks here, but I think
I did lock on that Utah over 7. I don't think SC could beat them more than 7.
All right, so you got Utah +7. All right, this next game's huge for both teams because both teams need a win. ACC, Clemson needs a win to kind of maybe get back into. I don't know, man. I don't know. This one's gonna be the seat's gonna be hot for whatever team loses.
Don't think you think Dabo's going on the hot seat.
Yeah, he was spouting off this past week. And let me rephrase that. I don't want to say Dabo's spouting off because Clemson fans are spoiled. If you're a Clemson, you are spoiled as a Clemson fan. You have been, and Dabo's the one that has pampered you and given you national championships and got you these top recruits. And he said, hey, maybe we should be losing some to get maybe the bandwagon's full, you know, with these bandwagon fans, and maybe they need to go.
Clem's a bandwagon fan, but okay, go ahead.
So I mean, Dabo's feeling it, and coaches leave. Steve Spurrier left Florida after 11 years because he was like, these fans, the pressure, all this. Urban Meyer faked 2 heart attacks at Florida, faked being sick at Ohio State. So the pressure is real, man. It gets to these coaches. Mario Cristobal under some pressure after that. Yeah, after that call, after that no kneel down call, yeah, a couple weeks ago, and the team's not looking like it's buying into much after last week.
Nah, and I feel like they could have beat North Carolina as well.
Yeah, so I might not even know what I'm talking about. They might still be bought in, and maybe North Carolina is just a really good football team. I think that's more likely the case. But here, I mean, this is gonna be a fun game to watch. 7 p.m. and probably a half full Hard Rock Stadium,
As always,
as you do. I'm gonna stay away from it. I think Clemson gets the win. Unfortunately, I would like to see Miami get this win.
I want Miami to win that game for Florida State's sake, to make Florida State's resume better.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would like to see Miami win to make that Florida State Miami game something like we thought it was gonna be, like we all hope it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Not too much to analyze here. I think Clemson's kind of getting their swagger back, and then Miami coming off 2 tough losses. So it's going to be a make or break for both teams.
Hate to be to you right now.
Yep. And my final lock of the week, I'm going to spin it on Washington and Arizona State. Washington's favorite minus 26.5. The over-under's 59.5. I think I'm gonna stick with. Let me see what Arizona State's scoring, dude. I think I'm gonna go with Washington minus 20. Shit, I don't know. This is
because I feel like Washington is. It's like I keep saying to these West Coast people. Yes, these teams out here are good offensively, but they're gonna allow a team to score 14 points. 14, 20 points. I would definitely take the over on 59, but 26.5. These Pac-12 teams cannot play defense.
Yeah, but Arizona State's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Washington's. This was one I was contemplating locking in. Yeah. I was contemplating locking this one in, but I've got one left, and we all know where that game is going. So I had to sit one out, and it was going to be this one. But Washington's going to win this game. I mean, they got a big statement win against Oregon. That game was a weird game, by the way.
But don't teams sometimes after a big win like that, they usually start off slow the next game.
Yeah, they do. That's why I'm nervous about this one, and I think I'm going to save it for a game of the week. And I think Washington gets the win, obviously, here. I hate saying obviously, but I think they get the win, and
it's likely that they'll get it.
It's likely, and the only reason why I'm backed out on locking it in is because I see it's on Justin's locks, and he's in last place, so I don't want to get on his bandwagon of locking. So I'm gonna save it for the game of the week, which is Ohio State and Penn State.
All right, loving the updates.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been watching, man, like and subscribe. We got the new channel, the College Football Extravaganza on YouTube. That's where we're at. We're also on all your podcatchers, but you might catch some of the intro there. So, yeah, like and subscribe, share it with your friends who like football. But this is why you came here, Lazy.
Yep.
This is the game. This is Penn State, Ohio State. Every single year, it seems like Ohio State plays spoiler to Penn State's perfect season. Is the story the same this year? I know your answer, but go ahead and tell us what it is.
You already know who I'm choosing. It's only because Penn State, well, one thing Penn State would do, they would have a really great defense. They would have like the Micah Parsons out there in the world and stuff like that. But offensively, I don't know what it is with the Penn State, but they don't scare me only because I know they just are not a good offensive team. And then on top of that, I feel like they get really tight. The coach gets really tight, and I remember one year with Braxton. I can't remember. I think it was JT with JT. We were down 3 scores, and they got tight, and we ended up winning that game. And then the thing. So this is the thing right now. The noise in Columbus is right now. The game is too early. It should be a night game. The fans that are at the games when it's a 12 game, they're the fans that pay. And they're sitting down. So the energy has not been good in the shoe lately. And the word is that the ushers more than likely are going to have a lot of these fans get kicked out for not standing up during this game. That's the rumor right now on Twitter.
Oh, no.
They're too bougie. And we don't have enough real deal fans like the
in the
students.
stadium?
Repeat that?
In the stadium? Like
Stadium. It's not.
Too many people sitting down?
It's too many people sitting down. In a game like this, we need to be standing up from 0 to when the clock starts at the next 0. And as of right now, the Nittany Lions, they will always have a great defense, but on offense, those guys are going to be tight, and there are a bunch of young bucks on that team as well. And we got a bunch of veterans on our team. And I think that it will be a defensive game for that first half. But I think we're going to let loose in that second half. Because, look, the quarterback already threw 12 touchdowns. But I don't know, man. I just feel like it's going to be a defensive game. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the usual. They're going to get tight. The coach is going to get tight. They probably might get cute in the first half as well. But that second half is going to be too much. And we're going to roll them over.
You could roll them over. Davis, what do you say?
Yeah, lock me in over Ohio State 4.5. Lock me in for that.
You're locked in.
Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and get it out of the way. Lock me in Ohio State 4.5.
Oh,
all right.
Let's get it out of the way.
I love it.
You're locked.
All right, we're locked. Yeah, I'm gonna pretend the sound effect played. Oh shit!
Wait. Here you go. Davis is locking in Ohio State minus 4.5. There you go.
All right, so basically, here's my biggest logic. I think Ohio State is definitely more of a complete team, and then you couple that with being at Ohio State. That is such a hard place to play in. Does it have every potential to be a close game? Yes. Could it be a back and forth game? Yes. Drew Aller, by the way, a stud. He is a stud. Great quarterback. I think that Penn State has a stud of a head coach. I think their team as a whole is a very good team. And Drew Aller, by the way, I think he's a sophomore, maybe a redshirt freshman. Like, he's got a lot of time left at Penn State. So I think that the future is bright there for him, but not this year, especially when you're at Ohio State. Next year, we might be talking about a completely different game. I might be locking in Penn State next year in this game, but it's at home. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. You have Kyle McCord's playing really, really well. You can't beat that right now in an offensive mindset. Got to give me Ohio State in this one and lock it in.
Boom. All right, you're already locked in. And I'm going to say...
Not so fast, my friend.
I'm going to say not so fast.
Someone's got to do it. That's fine.
Someone's got to do it, baby. Someone's got to do it, Lazy. And it's going to be me. Now, I'm going to lock in Penn State plus 4.5 because I think Ohio State's going to win it by a field goal. I can see Ohio State win by a field goal, or I could see Penn State barely win.
But you got to think about it. That quarterback, this is going to be his first.
It's his first time.
Game.
Yeah.
That's going to be, and I'm being biased. The Ohio State defense they're really starting to strut their feathers right now. Nobody has scored. Look at that. Nobody has scored over 15 points.
This is Penn
Oh,
State's.
no.
This
Oh,
is
that's
Penn
Penn
State's
State.
schedule.
Oh, we're definitely smacking that ass. Look who they played.
You said the same. You said, he said, look at that. We're so good. Look at that. They suck in the same.
I mean, I can see the Iowa thing. They beating Iowa 31-0 is really impressive to me.
Yeah,
That's very impressive. And
that's impressive.
it's looking like they can score, but they haven't. That quarterback has not seen a defense like ours all season, and I think he's going to unravel. He's going to give me that 4.5. He's going to definitely throw at least 2 interceptions. Give me that.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm saying that Ohio State wins by a field goal is because Penn State here, Ohio State ruins their season every single year. There's got to be 1 year where it's close. There's got to be 1 year where Penn State either gets you guys or almost gets you guys. I'm looking at the schedule here for Ohio State as well. The Notre Dame victory is probably the most impressive. I'm staying away from the over because the defenses on both these teams scare me.
Yeah.
Defenses in both these teams are scary good. Like you said, I agree with you. Ohio State's defense is doing good, but I gotta be contrarian. I gotta go with Penn State here, -4.5 because that's what they're giving me. If it was -3, I'd go Ohio State, but it's not. So it's -4.5. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, I think we win it by at least 10, 14 maybe, either 10 or 14 points.
I could see that happening as well, but I'm feeling it. I'm going Penn State, baby. Locking it in. Thank you guys for joining. Joey, Seminole Joey says Ohio for the win. So are you talking about the Bobcats?
What do you think, Joey?
I think he's talking about Ohio State. And you know what? Ohio State knows how important this game is. I think both teams do. It's going to be the game of the week. My only gripe here is it's at noon. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
I hate that. And I think from what I've been reading, it's because of that Fox contract. That Fox, they got the big noon. You rarely see Fox. You rarely see Fox at night. And I don't know where's game day going to be at this weekend, guys.
It's got to be here.
I think it's Ohio State, Penn State.
Yeah, it's got to be here. If you're watching, you're catching the end of it, like and subscribe to the podcast. Go back and watch the rest of this. It was a good podcast. We had an old friend on here, and we're going to wrap it up with our locks of the week. And I'll go first since mine are on a napkin here. I got Air Force -10.5 over Navy. I got Oregon over 62 points. Iowa under 31.5. They're playing Minnesota, so that game's going to be under the points. I got LSU beating Army -31, and I got Penn State +4.5, which I'm very nervous about. I think Ohio State also could put a whoop down on that. And my lock record is 21-17 right now, so feeling pretty good about that. Davis is in the lead. Davis, here are your locks.
Feeling good. I'm feeling really good about it. Let's go. And that
like
Florida State game, ready for it to be a shot game. I'm feeling that good.
All right. Awesome. I mean, I like Ohio's. I like these locks too. We share that Air Force lock. I like that. The Tennessee. I hope Tennessee gives it to Alabama, honestly. So, I mean, I would be perfectly fine if you went 4-1. That Michigan, that you can lose that Michigan one, and I'd be okay with catching up with you on that one. And Justin, obviously absent. He sent in his locks. He's on the opposite side of the shot game. He's got Duke +14.5. Obviously, Washington -26.5 against Arizona State. Oklahoma State +3.5. I like that one. I'm on the train with him there. Oh wait, bro. I think I locked that one in during the show.
Which one?
Oklahoma State. So I'm gonna have to go back and make Yeah, I definitely did lock that one in. So I might have to substitute that one for one of these locks on the graphic whenever we put it out. But that's a good one. Georgia State, he's gonna have to explain himself on that one. Wisconsin, I don't see how he can lock Wisconsin in against Illinois after Illinois came off that upset against Maryland.
The Georgia State one, I gotta watch next week to see if he's gonna be on to explain that.
I mean, he's big. He's big on like Marshall and Conference USA. So he's our Conference USA correspondent, if you will. But being on the Wisconsin right now after that last week, that's pretty preposterous. Yeah, Justin's highly against FSU this year, so we got to talk some sense into him about that up until the Florida week. Obviously, that's hate week, and as a Gator, as a Gator fan, me, Davis, and Justin are kind of just gonna kick back and relax in this bye week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching football without worrying about the Gators.
I know, dude. That's exactly what I want to do.
Bye.
We got to buy. Georgia's got to buy. So going into that Jacksonville game.
Oh, so Florida, Georgia. Okay.
Florida, Georgia. All right, that's going to be it for College Football Extravaganza. Go back, watch the whole episode, like, share, subscribe to the new College Football Extravaganza YouTube. It's at CFB Extravaganza. Go follow me, R. Vincent Comedy. Lazon, thanks for joining us. He's in law school, so we know your time's valuable. Davey, you got any plugs?
None on the top of my head. Just let's go sports.
I like that Blue Wahoo shirt, by the way.
Oh, actually, it's Blue Angels. Blue Angels.
I like that Blue Angels shirt, by the way. That's
fine. Man. Good stuff. Good shirt. One of my favorite shirts.
Got to rep Pensacola. All right, I'm going to be performing at the Dock in Pensacola here Friday night, doing some comedy, opening up for Tam Taylor, and then I'll be in Jacksonville the next day doing some comedy for the Libertarian Party of Duval County. So come see me out there if you're in Jacksonville, or if you're not, tell your friends that are really funny guys going there and tell them to come out. Adios. Thank you guys for joining.